It's no secret that I think that climbing the credit card ladder in the way it's typically presented is complete and utter bullcrap. So instead of creating another negative video, I figured I'd just create my version of the credit card ladder that I think would be helpful to many beginners. So let's see how this works out. Level 1. This is the only level of the credit card ladder in its current popular form of being presented that I find to be useful and I find to be pretty sound with the information that's being provided. And that level is the very first level, which is the beginner level, but I'm going to rebrand it to the foundation level for my video. Now, these are your real beginner credit cards that you want to be relatively strategic with opening so that you can keep these credit cards into perpetuity, since the credit card you open up at this level will have the longest length of credit history on your credit report. At this level, your choices are pretty limited when it comes to opening a really good credit card that will reward you, because most of the good credit cards require some sort of history which shows that you are responsible with handling credit. If you're at this level, I'd recommend looking at secured credit cards, student credit cards, or credit cards that typically approve people with a very limited credit history. This way, you will have a higher chance of receiving an approval. Some examples of secured credit cards include the Discover It secured credit card that actually allows you to earn 2% cashback at gas stations and restaurants on up to $1,000 in combined purchases each quarter, with an unlimited cashback match for the first year, which will come at the end of your first year, essentially making this a strong 2% cashback catch-all credit card for all of those eligible out-of-category purchases, and a 4% cashback credit card for those restaurant and gas station purchases during your first year. This is actually a really good option. Other secured credit cards that may be worth taking a look at include secured cards from Capital One, such as the Quicksilver Secured, which earns 1.5% cashback on all purchases. Just understand that Capital One has a history of keeping its beginner credit card holders in a bucket for years on end by being pretty stingy with giving credit limit increases, particularly on the Quicksilver credit card. So do a quick search on YouTube to get an understanding of this Capital One bucket before applying for any Quicksilver credit card. YouTuber Cal Barton has a good library of videos on this topic. Also, don't get the Quicksilver card with an annual fee. Try to avoid any credit card with an annual fee at this level. I'll give one more secured credit card example, and this one doesn't get much love in the credit card community, but it is an excellent option, and that is the US Bank Altitude Go Secured Visa Signature Card. I know that's a long name, so editors, play that back for the viewers. The US Bank Altitude Go Secured Visa Signature Card. The Altitude Go Secured Visa Signature Card offers solid rewards with a 4x multiplier on restaurant purchases on up to $2,000 per quarter, a 2x multiplier on streaming services, grocery stores, gas stations, and EV charging stations, and a base level of 1 point per dollar spent on all out-of-category purchases. Personally, I've never had a secured credit card, so when you do your research, you'll see the difference between a secured credit card and a regular traditional credit card. The main difference is that a secured credit card requires a security deposit, and that deposit typically acts as your credit limit. So for those of you who aren't in the market for a secured credit card and can qualify for a traditional beginner credit card, I have two favorites, one of which is currently in my wallet and was my very first credit card, and that is the Discover It cashback credit card. And I actually started with the student version. Back when I was approved for this credit card over a decade ago, my only welcome perk was 0% APR on purchases for the first 6 months. But nowadays, in addition to this, you'll be able to get unlimited cashback match for your first year, which once again essentially turns this into a 2% cashback credit card for your first year on all of those eligible out-of-category purchases, just like it did for the secured credit card from Discover that I mentioned earlier on. And my favorite part is it is essentially a 10% cashback card on all in-category purchases during that first year. That is absolutely powerful for a beginner credit card, and it is the best option out there in my opinion. My favorite pick is the Chase Freedom Rise, and that's because you'll be able to start earning very valuable Chase Ultimate Reward points on your purchases at a 1.5% cashback rate pretty early on in your credit card journey. If you do go for this card, I encourage you to hold on to those points if you plan to join Team Travel. Believe me, you will thank me later if you do save those points to use for travel because of the outsized value you can potentially achieve with those points rather than redeeming those points for cash back. So this is step one. Get a good foundation level credit card that offers offers flexibility with earning points or cash back so that you can have some freedom in how you redeem them rather than going with a closed loop store credit card that only offers rewards on in-store purchases. Also, stay away from annual fee cards at this level. At some point, you may want to close out a credit card that has an annual fee, and you definitely don't want that to be your oldest credit card because it will hold the most credit history on your credit report. Level 2. I know, some of you are surprised with the name of this subchapter, but you're going to be even more surprised when I tell you this. I am not recommending any credit cards at this level. Yes, that's right, no new credit cards just yet. At this level, I want you to take the time to research, learn, and strategize around some of the annoying hidden rules and nuances about the different credit card ecosystems before jumping in and applying for multiple no-fee annual credit cards within the typical level 2 of the credit card ladder. Why? Because if you aren't careful, at worst, you're going to lock yourself out of being able to be approved for certain credit cards from credit card issuers that have a reputation with being stingy. And on the other hand, you can potentially delay your progress with your strategy. So there are some rules to be mindful of. Let's start with American Express, and specifically the Amex Green, Amex Gold, and Amex Platinum cards. If you desire to get the Amex Platinum, make sure that you are aware of the Amex Family Language rule. This was recently implemented earlier this year, but essentially, let's say you started off your Amex journey with the Amex Platinum because of a very attractive welcome offer. Well, if you do that, you're going to be ineligible to receive the welcome offer on the Amex Gold and Amex Green cards. Amex's terms and conditions states the following for the Green card. You may not be eligible to receive a welcome offer if you have or have had this card, that's the Amex Green card, the Platinum card from American Express exclusively for Morgan Stanley, the Platinum card from American Express exclusively for Charles Schwab, the American Express Gold card, or previous versions of these cards. I think the highest welcome offer I've seen on the Amex Green card was 60,000 points, and the Amex Gold card's highest welcome offer so far has been 100,000 membership reward points. That's a potential total of 160,000 membership reward points that you may not ever be eligible to receive if you get the wrong card first. Another big rule comes from Chase, and it has been covered very well here on YouTube, and that's the 524 rule. Essentially, if you open 5 or more credit cards within 24 months, Chase's system will more than likely automatically deny you from opening any more new credit cards with them until your status falls below 524. So you should decide whether your goal is to enter Chase's ecosystem to establish your Chase trifecta, which most commonly consists of the Freedom Unlimited, Freedom Flex, and Sapphire Preferred credit cards. There are other versions of the trifecta, but I won't get into that in this video. Just be aware of the 524 rule, and you just may not give a crap about it like my guy Sledge from Sledge Inc. team. He's at like 20, 24 or something ridiculous like that. Shout out to you, Sledge. I'll mention one more unwritten rule that multiple creators have been victims of, and there really isn't any hard data out there to pinpoint the cutoff point for this one. So the Capital One Venture X is one of the most hyped premium travel credit cards here on YouTube because it's so easy to squeeze value from the card to cover the annual fee. However, Capital One seems to be very picky with approving people for this credit card. So it seems like they don't like to approve people who open a lot of credit cards, but I don't know what that cutoff number is. I've seen creators with around 9 credit cards get denied for this one, and even after waiting like an additional 6 months or even a year of not opening credit cards, they still aren't able to get an approval for this card. Now I'm just going to take a moment to brag that I'm not one of those creators who were denied. In fact, here's my Watch Me Apply video. I think it'll be up here. Also, learn about the different point ecosystems. Some ecosystems are better for using points toward hotel stays, while other ecosystems are much better for redeeming points toward airfare. Take a look at the transfer partners and see if the partners appeal to you and your travel plans. That's if you plan to join team travel. For example, if you don't plan on flying, then American Express might not make sense for you. I mentioned the Venture X is great, but Capital One doesn't list any of the US airlines as transfer partners. There are ways to book flights through the partner airline alliance programs, but this can be a weak point for someone who mainly travels domestically. There are definitely other hidden rules and nuances that you need to be aware of, even from different issuers that I haven't mentioned, so do your research so that you can strategize appropriately and avoid being locked out of certain credit cards permanently. Level 3. Now that you have a solid foundation, meaning that you've built up a good solid year of good credit usage with your first credit card, and you've researched, learned, and came up with a strategy, it's now time for you to spread your wings and experience the freedom freedom level within limits. You're typically told to get the better mid-tier credit cards, that being level 3 of the typical credit card ladder, mainly those travel cards with an annual fee of around $95 through about $300. However, I want you all to have the freedom in your choices. So I'm combining level 2, level 3, and level 4 of the old credit card ladder, because once you have a good solid year of positive credit history and you meet the income requirements that the credit card issuers are looking for, you can now confidently apply for just about any credit card that makes sense for you. And it's important for you to know this, because from now on, if you're serious about the credit card game, especially if you're serious about subsidizing your travel expenses with credit card rewards, then your number one priority is going to be strategically applying for limited time elevated welcome offers that may be available on those good credit cards regardless of the annual fee, if it has one. That is the name of the game, and that's what the true players in this space actually do. But here are some things that you need to take into consideration. At this level, annual fee credit cards are definitely an option, and I'd like for you to figure out if an annual fee credit card makes sense for you based upon your strategy and your current habits in life. For example, if you don't plan to redeem points for travel, then you may be better off seeking a good no annual fee credit card instead, at least until you're ready to get into the travel game. So at this level, if there's an elevated welcome offer that fits within your strategy, go for that credit card. It may be the Chase Freedom Unlimited, which currently has an elevated welcome offer to earn $250 or 25,000 ultimate reward points after meeting the minimum spend requirement within the first 3 months of account opening. Just a side note, that offer may not be available by the time I post this video. Anyway, or maybe you just got a job that requires you to take multiple flights per month. In that case, the American Express Platinum card may make the most sense for you. Yes, it comes with a steep annual fee, but the perks of TSA PreCheck or Global Entry or Clear membership, which gets you in front of everyone in line and makes people like me who don't have the membership feel some sort of way as I watch you skip me in line. Anywhoosies, access to airport lounges include the crowded Centurion lounges that people have started complaining about. That's unfortunate. And maybe the point multipliers for hotels and flights really helps you to earn much more points than would be possible with another credit card. I'll just caution you to keep in mind the Amex family language rule that I mentioned in the previous level, so it would be better to work your way up to the Platinum card, in my opinion, by getting the Amex Green card first, the Amex Gold card second, and finally the Platinum card to maximize your opportunity to earn welcome offers. Just make sure you also do your research on Amex pop-up jail. Or maybe a mid-tier travel card that comes with a reasonable annual fee, like the $95 Wells Fargo Autograph Journey or City Strata Premier or Chase Sapphire Preferred credit cards may suit you well, because you don't necessarily care about access to airport lounges or gaining statuses with hotels or rental car companies through those higher annual fee premium travel credit cards like the Venture X or Amex Platinum. And these types of cards typically aren't mentioned at all on the credit card ladder, but hotel credit cards like the Hilton family of credit cards typically offer pretty decent limited time welcome offers that can fit very well within your travel strategy. And a valuable perk is obtaining status by holding one of their credit cards. I'm actually going to have another video about this pretty soon, showcasing the value that I've obtained so far from opening my Hilton credit cards. The point is, level 3 is complete freedom because you've earned your stripes. And what I've shared with you here in this level is literally what everyone who creates a climbing the credit card ladder type video actually does. The key thing is to strategize and lay out a plan so that you are able to maximize the value that you can obtain from your credit cards. Level 4. Gardening is going to be an extremely useful tool throughout your credit card journey because, as you would know from all of the research you did in level 2, there are going to be moments when you want to cool off and take a step back from opening credit cards that will report to your personal credit report. But why would you do this? Well, maybe you're now at 5 or 624 status with Chase, and you really want to have an option to open a new Chase credit card. So in order to do that, you'll have to put a pause on opening any new cards that will report to your personal credit. During this stage, business credit cards become a popular option for those of you who may have a business. I know that there are multiple videos on YouTube that state that you don't need a formal business to open a business credit card, just keep in mind that the bank or credit card issuer can ask for specific documentation to keep your business credit card account open. How do I know? It has happened to me, and thankfully I do have a business and was able to provide them with the requested documentation. This is important. Beware of those business credit cards that actually do report to your personal credit. I believe that Discover and Capital One's business credit cards report to your personal credit, so be sure to research first before applying for any business credit card. I have experience with American Express and Chase business cards, and I can confirm that neither of my business cards from those two issuers report to my personal credit report. Another thing you may find yourself doing during this phase is sitting on the sidelines and not applying for any more credit cards until your new credit activity has cooled off enough. Let's face it, this level is not exciting for credit card enthusiasts like us, but it is necessary at times to remain a player in this game. Level 5. I find it funny that the credit card ladder videos I've watched usually don't have a level that mentions enjoying the rewards you've worked so hard to earn. I think that the focus is so much on putting as many different credit cards within a video to maximize the potential for affiliate income that the vision, the heart, the reason why we jumped into the credit card game somehow ends up getting lost. And I find that to be pretty unfortunate. So you've climbed the credit card ladder, and now, in my opinion, you've made it to the top. You are now equipped with everything you need to know to be successful in this game. And now that you've made it here, it's time to enjoy some travel or cash back. For me personally, I've enjoyed a little bit of both, but I much prefer the travel experiences. I've been able to meet up with Anthony Bencher, Kelby Ng, and Stan the Credit Frog in Washington, D.C. for an epic weekend trip that was heavily subsidized by credit card rewards. Kelby had the brilliant idea of staying at the Thompson, Washington, D.C., which is a really nice hotel. I really liked my room. I thought the decor was nice and fresh, and it actually had a bit more of a masculine vibe to it, which is my preference. And we just so happened to have the bonus of staying there the night that there were fireworks right behind the hotel over the river. This only cost me 18,000 points per night, if I'm remembering that figure correctly. One of my favorite stays happened recently at the brand new Conrad Orlando, and that hotel was very nice. It was my mom's first time experiencing a stay at a Conrad property, and I was able to save a lot of money because my room costed several $100s per night, but I paid with points, so it didn't cost me any cash. I haven't done any exciting airline redemptions, just the basic domestic economy redemptions, but my friend Chase Yokoyama made an excellent video showcasing his redemption with ANA, which got him a seat in the room, which is an excellent business class product. I absolutely recommend watching that video if aspirational business or first class travel is your thing. The point is to use and enjoy your points. Don't store them longer than you need to, because points receive pretty hefty devaluations as time go on. So trust me when I say take time to use your points. In conclusion, the power is in your hands. I wanted to say that the power is yours, but that may be trademarked by Captain Planet, for those of you who know what Captain Planet is. Darn it, I think I'm showing my age. Develop a strategy and stick with it, and take the 5-step credit card ladder with a grain of salt. Notice that I eliminated the credit cards in level 5 because it typically contains those invite-only credit cards, or credit cards that have some extremely high requirements that only the wealthy can obtain. And since the reward structures aren't so great with those cards, I find that level to be useless, so it's not here on my ladder. My goal was to reimagine the credit card ladder and tailor it to how the credit card game is actually played, so that it can be very useful. If you haven't watched my first video on this topic, be sure to watch the video here next, because I explain in detail, or more detail, why I think the credit card ladder is a load of bull. And just a word of caution, that video is a bit negative, so you've been warned. With that, I'll see you in the next video, so come on over and get your high five.